Good morning, guys. We are going to be hiking today. This is a bit of a departure from my usual stuff. You guys might know me as Meepachan. I am the gamer girl on the Meepachan gaming channel. I usually stream on Twitch, and I play a variety of different games, including a lot of survival games. But what you might not have known is that part of my love for survival games is an actual love for the outdoors and a really deep desire to explore how to be more self sufficient but in tune with the wilderness. And thankfully, due to changes in my life recently, I've been able to explore some of those interests, and that includes foraging. I learned recently how to forage for mushrooms in time for the fall bloom of mushrooms, and I'm very eager to try and put some of those skills to the test. So we're gonna go to a local park, um, well, semi-local, I guess, and see what we can find. See if I can find anything, and of course, exercise some safety uh, and preparation, ideally, right? So we're not going to be there for multiple days. This isn't a backpacking trip. It's more of like a little day trip, day hike sort of situation. And it is kind of rainy outside, so I'm going to be wearing my rain jacket. But I figured I would show you guys what I'm going to be packing, and we'll go from there, right? So I'm going to be using this X-Bed. I think it's like an X-Bed 22 waterproof bag. I only recently got this one. I haven't used it yet, so I'm very curious to how it turned out, but it was very comfortable when I tried it on, and it was just the right size that I wanted just to go hiking. It looks really big on camera, but it's actually a really small bag, and to close it up, you roll it up, and then you use these buckles, close it up, and the buckles themselves have D-rings on them, so if you needed to hang something from them or hook it onto something else, you could. And it as the name implies, it's waterproof, but it's not meant to be like underwater or whatever. It's not meant to be submerged. Xbed, as far as I'm aware, is a brand that focuses on more sustainable production of their items, and they're also known for their sleeping bag pads. So maybe check them out if you're interested. Oh, here it is, the Typhoon 15. My bad. It's the Typhoon 15. So in my bag, I have, of course, my wallet, my car keys, and just the general identification stuff. But I'm also going to be packing this, which is my phone, a spare battery for my phone, which is my only electronic that needs the battery, charging cable, of course, can't be without those. A small first aid kit. This just has some painkillers, some Neosporin, alcohol wipes, and some small bandages and gauze, just in case. I'm not expecting to be going to war over here, so I don't need a huge first aid kit, but having something is better than having nothing. So this is going to be my little first aid kit. I'm going to be packing a Kula cloth. The bag looks super beat up, but a Kula cloth is basically just a toilet paper replacement for when you're outdoors, at least for one function, right? And then you just snap this onto the backpack, and it'll dry out on the way back, and you just wash it when you get home. So we're gonna pack one of that. I always pack my multi-tool. I almost never use it, but I always pack it. I'm not sponsored by any of these brands, by the way, so I'm sorry if I'm not reading out a brand, or if you're curious about something. I'll try to put a list of my little gear for today. Keep in mind, I'm a beginner. I would not trust myself as an expert voice in hiking and such, but I do want to share my experience so that if you're thinking about it, that hopefully you feel encouraged to do it and not just afraid because you're not like this great outdoors person. And sorry about my hair, it's kind of messy today. I haven't been able to go through it yet, so but this is an Ozark Trail multi-tool I've had for years. It's pretty straightforward. Got a lot of different things: pliers, file, knife. Just really useful for certain situations. I always keep it on hand. You just never know. And it takes up so little space, and it weighs so little that honestly it doesn't really impact me in any way or form. But you do want to try to minimize any unnecessary items when you go like hiking or even backpacking or especially hunting, where you're going to be trekking outdoors all day long. You definitely want to make sure that what you bring is exactly what you need and none of the excess stuff. I'm also going to pack some foods. I got some energy bars from Kind. This is the mixed berry bar. I actually really like these. I wasn't sure how I feel about them, but very tasty. I also got a protein bar from Bear Bells. They're also pretty yummy. And some seaweed snacks that a coworker gave me that I still need to get through, so we're going to pack these just to have something extra there. I'm also going to pack a small sandwich, so I'll have some lunch out there. I'm also going to bring a couple books with me, namely Pacific Harvest by Jennifer Hahn. If there's one book I can recommend if you're in the Pacific Northwest, it's probably going to be this one. As you can see, I'm almost done reading through it. I'm actually just reading through the recipes, and I really like the little stories behind them, so I'm taking my time with those. But she goes through the science behind different plants you can forage, how they affect your body, what's edible and what's not. She goes through the safer edible species. So there are some here included that you have to cook a little bit extra to make them safe to eat and such like that, to make sure you're not incidentally harming your body. But for the most part, all of these sound super tasty and super cool, and I can't wait to see if we can't find some of it. We're going to be focusing on mushrooms today, of course, but a huge shout out to Jennifer Hahn for such an incredible book. It was a really great read, and I'm going to be carrying this as like my little field guide probably from here on forward. So the next book I'm going to talk about is just one I want to kind of... Oh, excuse me. Whew. Wanted to sneeze for a second there. Is the one I kind of just want to read. Like, I'm going to be out there for a little bit, so I might pick a spot to sit down and read. And it's The Meat Eater Guide to Wilderness Skills and Survival by Steven Rinella. I actually do like Steven Rinella quite a bit. I think the way he approaches his lifestyle is very respectful. And he also clearly knows his stuff. You can find his channel online. Again, not sponsored, but I do enjoy watching his content quite a bit. And this is a book he put together with tips on how to prepare your gear, how to track animals, how to find some edible foods, fishing, just anything you could possibly need, kind of just in this book. I've only read part of the way through, but a lot of it is pretty sound advice. Again, I'm not an expert, so depending on your specific outdoor activity, you might want to check out some more sources, and I always highly recommend that you do. Double check, triple check anything that you're thinking about, and just make sure you're well equipped for when you're going out. But I would recommend just in general having this book on your shelf. It's more helpful than not, and it's just really beneficial information for any outdoor enthusiast, not just hunters. Now, that's it for my books, but there's an honorable mention I did want to bring up. I'm only just starting to read it, but it seems pretty well structured. But if you're interested in the Pacific Northwest, there's a lot of problematic AI books going around for foraging, medicinal plants, herbalism, that kind of stuff. But this one is written by an actual author. This guy is real. But he does have a pretty good structured book. Plenty of pictures for plant identification, and then some advice on how to use these plants medicinally in the Pacific Northwest. I'm reading it more just to inform myself. I actually don't practice medicinal plants or medicinal plants. I don't practice a lot of herbalism for myself or anybody else for that matter. I do have an interest in it, but I always read like 5 or 6 or 7 different books. But I'm trying to find more regional focus books because I am interested in what grows wild out here. And this one has been pretty solid. So Pacific Northwest Medicinal Plants by Scott Cluse. Again, not sponsored by any of these people, just things that I find really interesting. So far so good. I'm not bringing this though, so we're going to put that over here. And then, since we're looking for mushrooms, of course, we're going to bring a bag to carry those mushrooms in. This is actually a stuff sack from REI. I really just wanted a more rounded mesh basket, and I just happened to be in the store for my backpack, so I was like, I'll just grab something here. And this is what I ended up grabbing. It's the 6-liter one. I think it's the perfect size because I'm not looking to get a ton of mushrooms, and I'm not expecting to find a ton of mushrooms. But having something like this will prevent my mushrooms from getting as crushed with my other mushroom bag, which is like this big. So, we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna stuff that in my pocket. And then, of course, a water bottle. I need to refill this one. But, always bring plenty of water when you go on a hike. You do not want to be dehydrated. I have a different water bottle coming soon for longer hikes, but this one is perfect sized for me for a shorter hike. If you drink more water, then maybe consider a backpack with a reservoir or just bringing more water bottles. They can get heavy, though, so be mindful of that. That's gonna go there. And then I am wearing, you can see I have like this regular t-shirt here, but I'm also wearing smart wool underlayers. So this is I think this was either a medium weight or a lightweight underlayer. It's made of merino sheep's wool. And I'm also wearing the pants base layer, but on top of that, I'm wearing Fjallraven's G1000s, I want to say. I really love them. They're really cool. They have this, it's hard to find a way to show that to you. But they have multiple pockets. They're cargo pants, multiple pockets, and they have little zippered structures on the calf so that you can unzip them and let airflow go through. And a pocket for knee pads. So if you're doing something a little bit more intensive and you're going to be on your knees a lot, then you can slip some knee pads under there, wear them comfortably. They are super comfortable for me. I like the way they stretch. And then I'm also going to be wearing just some basic active socks. I'm waiting on some better hiking socks right now, but going to be wearing some basic active socks with cushion in them, as well as Merrell's hiking boots. They're waterproof hiking boots that go up to my ankles for some support. But for just day hiking in non-thick brush or just really well-maintained parks, you can also use just regular hiking shoes, or some people even use trail running shoes. Just whatever works for you. That's the thing about the outdoors. You know, you go do what you want specifically to do. In my case, I'm going to be foraging, so I'm going to be like in the bushes a little bit, looking around for mushrooms and stuff, and I'm going to see if we can't find some together. Oh, one more thing. I am also bringing this. This is, I have no idea. I bought it years ago. It's the brand is Telacin or something. It's probably just something cheap from China. But this is a little harness where you guys are going to be from. And it basically just lets me mount my phone on there. And I wear this around my neck, and you guys face forward, so you'll be able to hike with me for a little bit. It's not very heavy at all. There's straps to help stabilize it around my body. I don't really have strong recommendations for or against this thing. It wasn't expensive, I can tell you that much. And yeah, this is just how we're going to capture that POV. So if you ever wondered how that POV is taken, this is it. So now that we're done going through my gear, I'm going to finish making breakfast here. It is currently 9:30. I should have been up a little bit earlier, but honestly my bed was so warm and toasty. I didn't want to get up yet. So we're going to be late to the park, but that's okay. It's just a day trip. I'm not expecting to find much. I'm not a super mushroom hunter like some other folks that I've heard about around here. So if I don't find anything because I was too late, oh well, at least we're going to get some more experience looking, right? So I'll see you guys in a little bit, probably closer to when we're at the park. Luna's also going to be joining me, so we're going to be hiking with my pupper. Anyways, bye! Alright guys, we made it to Lord Hill Park. I tied my hair back because I need to be able to see what I'm doing, but also it's kind of chilly out here, so put on my hat. I'm here with Luna, who has decided that that is the spot to go. And we're just gonna get started hiking here. Once we're a little bit further into the woods, I'll put the video on. You can see my harness is mounted, so we are ready to go. That's my backpack straps right there. I'm in a little rain jacket. Oh, and I'm also wearing gaiters. You don't have to wear gaiters to go hiking. I just wear them for peace of mind. And also to keep dirt on my shoes. But, see you guys soon. Alright. We're starting the trail. I brought a little compass with me I've had for a while. Just never got the chance to use it. For those of you that don't know how to use a compass, that little arrow is always going to point to the north. So that way is north, which would mean I have to turn this around. There we go. So that's north. We're going to be walking westward. It's important to eastward. It's important to keep that in mind. You're not going to be looking at where the arrow is pointing, save to know that that's north. Since I turned to the right, we are now facing east. So wherever the arrow is not pointing is the direction I'm looking at. So that's directly south, right? So let's get started. We're going west. Knowing how to read a compass is important, but also knowing where you are and having some landmarks to go by. So I'm just leaving the parking. The parking is to the north. So if I get a little bit lost, I know I just have to move northward and westward, and I'll eventually hit the parking lot. But we're just going to go ahead and hop right in here. Luna, come on. Luna's already way into it. And if the POV is a little weird, sorry, my phone's a bit chunky for this thing, so it's not a great fit. I'm going to try to turn it up a little bit so you guys can see a little bit more. So we're going to hike on the trail for a little bit until we see like a decent place, and then we'll probably go off trail a little bit and see if we can't spot any mushies. So you might be wondering, how do you get the confidence to go hunting for mushrooms? Well, you see, I was reading that book I told you about, Pacific Harvest, and one of the nice things is there's some decent suggestions in there. Ooh, we're already starting with some mushies. Let's go over here. You can see some growing on that log over there. There they are. We aren't taking these because they're just not the mushrooms we're looking for. But you can see some more growing over there. Isn't that cool? We're in the thick of fall mushroom season. I know one of those is like, well, maybe not one of these specifically, but a similarly shaped one is a medicinal mushroom that a lot of people like to collect. And there's a really beat up mushroom down here, but I can't identify what it is. It's like right there. Yeah, Luna? Very interesting, huh? But yeah, one of the suggestions was connecting with the Mycological Society. And I'm going to pass that along to you, because they get real active around this time of year in the spring, you know? And I mean, they're always active, but many of them do like identification classes and such. I actually went to like a wilderness school and went to their mushroom ID course, and that's how I learned to ID some of the mushrooms and get some practical experience. Which, you know, this ain't a half bad place to start. It's a good amount of pines in here. So one of the mushrooms we're looking for today are chanterelles. And the thing about chanterelles is that they kind of like this type of environment where it's all piney. And I think I see a way forward in here. The trick is my dog just kind of wants to sniff everything right now. She doesn't want to move, so she keeps standing around like a brick. So we're going to pick her up. Come here, Luna. All right, let's go a little bit deeper. We also got to be careful because black bears have been sighted in the area. So, got to be mindful of those. There's a couple different ways you can kind of alert them to your presence, like wearing bells. Oh, there's some little mushies right here. They're really small. You can see them right here, growing out of this little pine cone. Not the ones we're looking for, but still important to see. But yeah, a couple ways you can let them know that you're there is wearing like bear bells. You can put bear bells on your dog. So like I could put bells around Luna's collar and other noisemakers like that. Obviously, if you're hunting, you're not going to want to do that, but I'm not hunting. I'm just here for mushies. And so that's just some advice to keep safe. Branch just fell. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was pretty cool. Pretty neat place. All right, we're going to hike our way back because there's a little path here. And we're going to keep going. Obviously, we're not going to find anything this close to the entrance. It's like 11 something in the morning. If anything was out here, it's long gone. Oh yeah. Look at this little guy. This one is not a chanterelle. This is actually a fake one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a fake one. Because it's got these little... Sorry, I just realized I'm not focusing on it. I'm not going to pluck it to show you guys, but it's got like these little gills underneath. Real chanterelles don't have gills underneath. They're going to have this ridgy, bumpy stuff. They look kind of like gills, but they're not. They're ridgy and bumpy, and they don't rustle when you rub them. They're very firm. And besides, even if that was a chanterelle, it's kind of too tiny for me to want to pluck. We want to get good, decent-sized ones. So, we'll see. Oh. It is pretty chilly out here, but the trail's pretty well maintained. Let's try up here. Come on in. Luna, I know everything smells delicious. We gotta keep moving. Come on. Let's see if there's anything out here. Sometimes they're a little hidden in the duff, which is just a term for the dirt and all the stuff. Oh, we might have found one. Luna, stop it. We might have found one, guys. Could be a fake one, though. Looks like it might be. Luna, stop. Oh, this isn't one. It's just a little mushy, but we'll take him just so you guys can see. A mushroom. So you see how he has gills at the bottom? Doesn't mean he's poisonous. I actually don't know. I don't remember what specific type of mushroom this is. It's not an edible one. Luna sees some bikers. I know, they're riding bikes. Oh, there's another dog, that's why. No, Luna. Luna is very dog reactive. And unfortunately, I forgot to bring treats to try and break her out of this. Hey! Luna. Luna. Stop. Hey, Luna. Luna. Hey. 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 Yeah, she doesn't care. Luna. Luna, hey, stop. They're already gone. They are already gone. Okay? Hush. Go But anyways, no, that's not for you either. You can see some of the mycelium still attached at the bottom of this. It's not an edible mushroom, but this is like one of the more common ones you can see on the forest floor. We're gonna put him back so you can keep letting loose spores. And I don't see anything promising out here, so we're gonna move on. I'm not going super off trail at the beginning because, like I said, if anything's out here, especially at the beginning of the trail, that's probably long gone. But Luna's gonna lose her mind for the next, I don't know, 30 something minutes because she knows there's a dog out here. So we're just gonna take a pause here, and I'll come back to you guys if I find some mushies or at least a good view. See you later. Holding the phone by hand this time around because the harness is just not working super well. But Luna is not getting along well. There's a lot of dogs on the trail today, and then we ran into the trail where the only way to progress is to just recognize that it's a combined trail. And what that means is that bikers can use it, equestrians can use it, people that are walking can use it just fine. But with how many dogs she's been seeing and reacting to, I just think, I don't know how she'd react to a horse, and I really don't want somebody to get hurt because of this crazy dog. So she's gonna chill in the car for a little bit, and don't worry, it's not hot at all today. It's actually pretty chilly. She'll have water and everything, and I probably won't be gone either way for super long because the point was kind of to hike and see how my dog does with the terrain, but she really just doesn't want to deal with it. And the rest of the time she spends barking and whining because she wants to get at the dogs that she keeps seeing walk by. So it's just something we have to work on, and that's okay. We have been working on it a little bit at a time, but this is the first time she's been in a setting like this, so you obviously can't expect perfection. Otherwise, she likes the trail itself. She's having a perfectly good time. She likes all the sniffing and exploring, right, Luna? Luna, you a good girl? But I think I really don't want to risk somebody's life who's on a horse for a barky dog that might spook it. So she's gonna go in the car for a little bit. Okay, Luna. So this is an area where I think I could find chanterelles. Again, reminder, I am a beginner forager. I can't really say I speak from experience, but I see enough little mushrooms around here that I see potential. So we're gonna do a little bit of digging, see if we can't find something. I found a big old log covered in turkey tail, but I left it because it was on the trail and I wanted other people to be able to see it too. But turkey tail is also just not my target. Luna's resting the car for a little bit. She had plenty of water, and she kind of laid down as if to go right to sleep, so I'm guessing she already tuckered herself out. So we probably won't be out here super long, just because I want to leave her alone for too long. But even if we don't find anything, being able to scout this area out has still been pretty fun. It's still been pretty fun. And so I did find little bitty oyster mushrooms earlier, but they were bitty, like nothing to harvest there, but it was very exciting to see them. Oop, sorry, Mr. Vine. Forget how big my shoes are. Oh, I think I see something. Let's go this way. You gotta be super attentive. Some of these branches have... I think I found one. We might have found one, guys. Let's see. Are you a real shanty? Let's see. No, it's a fake one. It's a false chanterelle, you see? Because it's got these roughly blade-like gills. It's the right color. It's almost even the right shape. But look at these gills. That is a fake chanterelle. Darn. Hopes and dreams crushed. But still a good sign. It means somewhere around here we might yet find a real one. Oh, there's something else down here. This one's really small, but for the purposes of examination, we're gonna pluck it. Are you a real or a fake one? Another fake one. And there we go. You can see those blade-like gills. We're in the right area though, guys. We are in the right area. Fake chanterelles and real chanterelles tend to share these areas. This one I can feel. I'm just feeling it out so I don't keep ripping these guys out. This one I can feel is bladed gills. So that's another fake one. And too exciting. I'm trying to avoid going into the ferns too much just because I don't know how sure my footing will be in there. But this exciting stuff, guys. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I am pumped right now. Little brown mushrooms everywhere. Oops, sorry. Sorry, mushroom friends. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh. You also don't want to end up in an area that you don't know how to get out of. I still am well oriented to the trail area, so I know I can get out of here pretty easily. But I also don't want to... Oh, look at that fungus. Look at that one. That's a funky looking guy, ain't he? But I don't want to end up in terrain that I can't reasonably get back out of. I'm not saying ferns are usually a cause of that, but I am saying if I can't see where my feet are stepping, it's probably a bad idea. Let's see here. We're a fair ways into the park now. But I see some odd speckly stuff over there. Let me see if my camera can capture that. No, it just looks just as odd from here than with my own two eyes. Let me climb up here. Oh, this is squishy. Do not fall apart under me, please. Okay. I don't think they'd be out there, but we're gonna walk our way around. And just make sure we don't miss any spots. I don't want like a whole bag of mushrooms. I didn't come out here expecting to find a lot of mushrooms. And in fact, even my teacher was like, you know, to get the best chance of finding tons and tons of mushrooms, you need to go to places people aren't going to. And state parks are obviously the first choice for a lot of people that are hunting mushrooms because it's public land. And therefore, you can kind of wander all over it. Ooh, excuse me, Mr. Mushrooms. You kind of wander all over it to find what you're looking for. Ooh. Okay, we didn't find any chanterelles, but it is definitely deep in mushroom season. Look at all those little guys. Those are not edibles. Or at least not the ones we're looking for. If I'm wrong, feel free to let me know, but pretty sure I'm not. Okay. This is going pretty steeply downhill at this point. Darn. Only 2 fake shanties? Let's try this way. Ugh, spider webs. This looks a little weird. Doesn't look like a shanty, but what you got going on under here, little bud? Yep, you got gills. You are not a shanty. The last chanterelles I found were actually that murky brown color. So I try not to pass up on it too much. Even my teacher was like, you did find one that was paler than they usually are. But it was still a chanterelle, and it was still delicious. I cooked them up in a little bit of butter. I don't add any salt to it, just straight up, just a little bit of butter. And it tastes like steak. Like, not necessarily the texture of steak, but if you've ever had a well-seasoned steak, and you ever chewed on like a fattier portion, not necessarily the fat cat, but like just one with a little bit more fat in it in general, it tastes just like that. We're in another area of the trail. I found a bunch more fake shanties. I don't know if we'll end up leaving with any, because I'm getting close to what I would consider my time limit. I could still go for a while, but again, I have a pupper waiting for me. And she's probably like, Mom, take me home. But in the meantime, I've just kind of been going further out. We're closer to the trail, obviously. So if there were any out here, more than likely somebody's already plucked them up. Look at these guys. I'm not actually sure which ones these are. I thought they might have been oysters at first, but the way they're all like really, really round, I'm not positive. And they have a pretty pronounced stem, which I don't think oysters do. I think oysters have practically no stem and it's almost always curvy. But I could be wrong. But this is the other thing, right? Instead of just taking some of these thinking, well, I don't want to miss out on some perfectly good oysters, if that's what they are, you know? I leave them. When in doubt, just leave it. Those are some amanita mushrooms. They got little frilly things around their caps. Not what we're looking for, though. Look at that big old broken tree over there. The way it's all twisted around, that's pretty cool. Look at this big old shelf fungus. There is something to be said about fake shanties. I think they also like to sprout before the actual chanterelles. So I suppose it's possible that I am just here too early. That is a possibility. However, given I found some chanterelles in a different forest a week or so ago, I don't think that's the case. Well, maybe. I don't know. It's got a velvety cap and gills on the bottom. That there's a fake shanty. Sometimes they also get buried, but it's kind of hard for me to tell. Like, I'm not good enough to be able to say, yeah, there's some buried mushrooms here. Look at these guys. We're in mushroom territory. Though, to be fair, mushroom territory is basically everywhere. It's just certain kinds of mushrooms are a little more desirable than others right now. Man. We could also try to get some bear's head or lion's mane, but those tend to be up in the trees. And obviously, I ain't getting up there. If you do find them low to the ground, I think they're usually around the fallen trees. Look at this guy. Are you gilled? You are gilled. You are a fake. These look like they might be oysters. I think these might actually be oysters. They're just too small to obviously make a good harvest. Oh, wait a minute. Could it be? Nope. It's a fake. It's also fake. Darn. Like, at this point, I'm okay with not finding one big enough to harvest. I think I'd just like to find one to show you guys. They're really cool. But man, they are elusive. I have to review my notes again. Because it could also be that I'm just looking in the wrong areas. Ooh. There's some more mushrooms over there. Looks like a decent little flush. But I'm pretty sure they're almost all fake. Just taking a good look around here too. You never know. I might see a bunch of fake ones, but there could be some real ones somewhere else. Yeah, these guys are all fakes. Look how round they are. Look how round they are. And they're gilled. Yep. All fakes. Fakers. All of them. Posers. Deceivers. Little brown mushrooms. Sorry, I got distracted by a couple of kids I saw earlier in the trail. These are fakes. All of them are fakes. But yeah, I saw these kids earlier in the trail, and one of them was mapping things, so I asked him about how his progress was going. And he said he had to stop because he thinks this area is bad because it has potential bears in it, which is true. There have been black bears around here pretty recently. But I haven't seen any more signs of them. Sorry, checking if this was a real one. It was not. I just want to try and find you guys a real one. Oh, look at these guys. Growing in a big old cluster over here. But we're running out of time, so we'll start heading back for now. Maybe next time when I get to go a little bit deeper.